Cipher can only control one supe at a time. However, I think this is about to change. When he mentioned that the students will use these weapons on themselves, it suggests a level of mind control that affects the entire student body. This is where the burned man comes in. Down in the basement, Marie finds this man and asks if he's Thomas Godolkin. He nods in the affirmative. If he promises to help her, she will heal him, and that's exactly what she does. Using her power, she heals all his burns to reveal the body of Thomas Godolkin. And I thought it was interesting that he hasn't really aged. He has essentially been restored to the same condition he was before the lab incident. At the same time, Polarity uses his EMP blast, which brings Cipher to heal. But just as he's about to off him for good, Cipher pleads for his life, saying, "I'm not him." He explains that his back and ribs hurt, likely from the flying kettleballs Polarity threw at him. Cipher used to not feel any pain, but it looks as though Marie's healing of Thomas Godolkin has severed the hold Thomas Godolkin had over Cipher, or should we say Doug Brightbill. And I guess I should say it wasn't really a severing, rather than Thomas Godolkin doesn't need him anymore. In fact, there never was any Cipher. Cipher was Thomas Godolkin all along. And this poor guy, well, he's an absolute nobody. Just some guy named Doug who had a cat named Buster, drove a Honda Civic, and was fired from his last job at Blockbuster. That last detail is actually pretty important, as it dates him to the time his body was taken over by Godolkin. We know that Marie was born in 2005 and delivered by Godolkin using Doug's body, posing as Dr. Gold. Blockbuster was founded 20 years earlier in 1985. So sometime between 1985 and 2005 was when Godolkin took over Doug's body. This is also why Marie never sensed any compound V in him. Doug is a human. I also got the feeling Doug is not actually Godolkin's son. Rather, that line was a misdirect by Godolkin. Now that we know Cipher was Godolkin all along, it changes the context of some of his past interactions. For example, when he talked about his father taking him to Australia, this would be Godolkin's father, and this would have probably happened in the 1940s or 50s. Or let's take when Cipher berated the burned man, calling him a puny dumpster baby. It's Godolkin taking his anger out on Doug the only way he can, or maybe he's just a masochist. We know Godolkin has a disdain for weak supes. I can only imagine how much he detests regular humans who would be a step below them. But that leaves a huge chunk of time from 1967 to 1985 unaccounted for. What was Godolkin doing during that time? Who was taking care of him? Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, and if you want the full video, check out the Think Story YouTube channel.
You're goddamn right.